My name is Kenan and today I'm gonna talk about an ability which we all need. Right now, I'm gonna read from the book called The Lucky One. Deputy Case Clayton hadn't heard them approach, and up close he didn't like the looks of them any more than he had the first time he'd seen them. The dog was part of it. He wasn't fond of German shepherds, and this one, though he was standing quietly, reminded him of the panther, the police dog that rode with Deputy Kenny Moore and was quick to bite suspects in the crotch at the slightest command. Most of the time he regarded Moore as an idiot, but he was still just about the closest thing to a friend that Clayton had in the department, and he had to admit that Moore had a way of telling those crotch-biting stories that made Clayton double over in laughter. Can I suggest you one thing? It's not the book or what's inside of the book that I suggest you. I want to emphasize the other thing. I want you to obtain a skill that's able to develop your imagination. What I want you to do is just read loudly. Actually, it's very simple, while many people ignore it. Majority of the people don't like to read loudly, as it decreases the speed of reading. They prefer to read faster. First, we should be able to read slowly. People also like to read quietly. Even libraries are well known for their quietness. I advise you to read loudly at least for 10 minutes every day because reading loudly is motivational. When you are in a bad mood, it can inspire and encourage you. It also increases the level of concentration. When you read a book loudly and slowly, hold for a moment and start asking questions from both yourself and from the book. What did I get from you and what you gave me? The concept of double think is very crucial. It means to deliberately believing in lies while knowing they are false. It's a theory in which you have to believe in both what you believe and what you don't believe. It's a deliberate act. Here's a simple example. What is said to people who speak to themselves? Absent-minded, fool, or anything you wish to say. Do you really believe it? Are you fool or absent-minded then? Come on, let's confess. You also speak to yourself. At least when you were in childhood, it's likely that you have talked to yourself before. Speaking to yourself is also beneficial because it strengthens the memory. In psychology, this process is called production effect. According to Colin McLeod, learning and memorizing is only possible when there is active contribution. In 2017, in the University of Waterloo, there was a research in which students were divided in 4 sections. The first section students read the material, giving material quietly. The second section students had listened to others who had read loudly. The third section students listened to their voices that they had recorded before. The last section students read the materials loudly. After the research, it was all clear that third and fourth sections were superior to the first and second, that they had better understanding and vision of what they had read. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. While you are reading, don't even worry when you read slowly. Scientists after Waterloo University research mentioned that information which is gained through voice, eyes, and ears make the special reference. This information becomes special in comparison to others, so that this information is stored in the long-term memorizing section of our brain, which is easy to activate and get what you want. We may not read loudly in public transportations, in libraries, but we have to find place where we can read loudly, regardless of our status in society. We need to make ourselves live in the realm of books. Try to ask as much questions as possible from the book. Read loudly, think loudly, that you can find your destination with your voice. Do you know what will happen to you if you don't find your voice? It's a process that George Orwell warned people before, and it's a double sync. You are likely to believe the paradox as both of them are true. For instance, I need to be pretty, handsome, famous, fashionable if I want to be happy. 24 hours a day for the rest of our lives, the some powers will try to make us be full until death. So, to defend ourselves and fight against the ones who try to manipulate us with bias, we must learn to read to stimulate our own imagination, to cultivate our own consciousness, our own belief systems. We all need these skills to defend, to preserve our own minds. Thanks.